we can do. What is it that makes us feel safe? What is it that makes you feel safe? It could be a piece of music, it could be using your body to work out, yoga, chanting. What helps you feel safe and calm with yourself? Identify that and practice that. You can also create safe spaces around you. That space could be your physical home, a corner somewhere, comforting a sense of calm. It can be of blanket hold on to. It can be objects or pieces of faith. It can be photographs of your family, your loved ones, that gives you a sense of safety. A safe space for yourself, one, or however it is that you may want to create it, and put it up somewhere where it's visible to you. Anything that can give you that sense of calmness and comfort. Another very important cue for physical safety is our ability as humans to self-soothe and seek comfort from our loved ones, especially those of us who are fortunate enough to be with our families and loved ones at this time. It is a good idea to engage in simple gestures like holding on to each other, giving an occasional hug, cuddling. The sense of touch brings a lot of comfort. And of course, we we need to maintain distance if at all we're showing any kind of symptoms. But this these simple acts can also be very comforting. And if you're not comfortable with these expressions, we can also learn to self-soothe. And I'm going to demonstrate one technique which you can use for self-soothing, which is known as the butterfly hug. I'm going to demonstrate it to you here. You may practice it with me, or you may watch, and you can do it later whenever you want to or have the time. So what we're going to do is find a comfortable spot and just sit with your legs together. And we want to just cross our hands on our chest like this. You can interlock your thumbs and then move out your fingers like a butterfly. You want to make sure that your fingers are facing your neck and shoulder and not your arms. So you want to do this and gently start tapping alternatively. So you can start right, left, right. You eyes closed or keep them open. You can also imagine your safe space while you are doing, or if you keep your clouds floating by, and just observe your breathing while you continue tapping gently and slowly. You can do this for about 10 to 12 taps until you feel calm and you feel comforted. It's important that we alternate our taps. So you do not want to flap both your hands together. It's important to just alternate the taps one after the other. And once you feel comfortable with it, you can practice it once or twice a day, or whenever it is that you're feeling very overwhelmed or anxious. This technique works beautifully with children also, so they can also be taught to give themselves a butterfly hug. There are some videos available on YouTube as well, and you can also check them out for further reference. Next, let's move on to the next major theme, which is loss of control. With this nationwide and also worldwide lockdown, we're feeling this constant sense of helplessness and restlessness. And this feeling is coming from this feeling of losing a sense of control, both physically and mentally. And so, what is happening is that all of us are reacting to situations with anger, frustration, irritability, lot of helplessness, right? And usually, these heavy, unpleasant emotions are getting displaced on to our loved ones, our work, our pets, most of whom are also going through a very similar range of emotions. Now, why is that happening? Why are we reacting like that? Humans usually respond to stress in two major ways: the fight or the flight response. So they either fight the danger or perceived stress, or try to run away or escape from it. Directly, we're not able to fight or avoid or escape it completely either, which is why this sense of lack of control and helplessness and not knowing what to do. However, in every situation, there is always something that is within our control. We may not be able to control the situation in itself, but we may be able to choose how to respond to it. Which is why it's important to understand what are our spheres of control within every situation. What are some things that are within my control, and what are some things that I may not be able to control? I've made a list of a few things that we can remember. Now, the news, things that are being shared on the news, statistics, all of that, the news about the outbreak, the news about how many people are getting affected by it. Though, of course, very, very important to be aware, we need to understand how much of it are we consuming and what sources are we using to consume the news. Nowadays, a lot of people are using WhatsApp forwards and messages and educating themselves through them. I urge you not to follow those. And there are some specific websites or sources of information which are more reliable and have verified information. You can go up to the WHO website and get information from there. It is also important that we limit our daily consumption of the news or the amount of time we're spending on social media to sort of just keep getting information about the situation, because that is what is creating continuous fear and panic, and that is something that can be avoided. Political and government decisions regarding healthcare, regarding facilities, those are not in our control directly. But we can have our own opinions towards it. We can choose how to respond towards it. So whether you want to light those candles or whether you want to show solidarity by clapping, that is in your control. That is your decision. You can choose whether you would want to do it or not. Other people's health and safety are not in your control, but your own personal safety, your own health is in your control. By taking the necessary precautions, knowing exactly what you ought to do to be safe, to be healthy. Similarly, other people's actions and opinions, whether they're taking it lightly, taking it too strongly, however they are responding to it, is not going to be in your control. You can choose for yourself that you want to be accurately aware, you want to know how much you want to know, and take the necessary precautions. Again, as I said, a sense of fear, panic, anxiety is very natural. So it's not always within our control to feel those things. But you can again respond to them by using relaxation techniques, breathing exercises, trying to keep yourself occupied, yoga, anything that helps you to cope with it. The social distancing and lockdown is not in your control, but we have a wide range of technology that helps us keep our connections alive. We can virtually stay connected to each other, virtually have a lot of group activities that we can do, family activities with the people who we're living with. All of these are within our control. Next, moving on. Third major theme is unpredictability. Now, humans are creatures of habit. We thrive with structure and routine, and our brain hates the idea of uncertainty and unpredictability because unpredictability breeds fear and panic. Not knowing what to expect, not knowing what's going to happen next can create a lot of fear. It can be very scary. So, what we want to do is create a sense of predictability for our brain, create a sense of something to look forward to. We can have a daily schedule planned for ourselves, a weekly schedule planned for ourselves, have a set routine. For those who are working from home, it's important that you follow the same routine you would if you were going space that is leave. Keep time separately for family, for your own time. Share things forward. Very creative nowadays and coming up with a lot of ideas as to things that they can do when they're under this lockdown. Movie nights, game nights, or just schedule things during the week that on Monday I'm going to call my school friends. On Tuesdays I'm going to have family night. On Wednesday I'm going to do this. That you can what and this is what I can do for the next coming few days. Allow your brain to adjust to this time of uncertainty. Practice daily rituals. Very important. It's rituals and have that we sleep. And even though these rituals may not be the same right now, our routine may be all over the place, we can create new rituals within this setup and try and practice them daily. Again, giving your brain that sense of comfort of knowing what is to come next or what is it that we can expect. Next, we can move on. Emotional distancing. Now, this is something that is affecting a lot of us during this lockdown period. Humans are inherently social beings. We crave connection. We thrive on connection and reciprocity. So, social distancing is tough because we end up feeling very lonely, very isolated. This is especially true for those who are living away from home, living away from their family and loved ones. One thing that we can do, firstly for ourselves, is to recognize your own emotions, your own feelings at this time. How is it that I'm feeling on a day-to-day basis? Today I'm feeling active. Today I'm feeling very restless. Today I just feel like a potato. Today I don't feel like moving. And try and label those feelings accurately. Feeling helpless, feeling anxious, feeling angry. Try and label them correctly, at least for yourself first. All of us nowadays are having some days which are worse than the others, and some other days which are better. Notice what is different when you have better days. What is it that you are doing? What is it that you're engaging in? What is it that is helping you get through that day? Is it some activity that you're doing? Is it a phone call from someone? What was it that made that day it a little more positive? And share your experience for everyone. Experience as much as share feelings that whenever feeling really restless or overwhelmed, but then I got a phone call and I spoke to one of my friends who I hadn't spoken to in a long time, and surprisingly I started feeling better. Just sharing your experiences of what gets you through each day can be very important for others as well as you, because it's building that connection. It's allowing you to relate to others and allowing others to relate to you. Make use of family time. Those of us who are fortunate enough to be with our families at this time, you can use this time to play games, cook meals together. Those of you who are away can use, like I said, the virtual technology to play games. Also, it's important to remember that as much as we need connection and the bond, there is also a need for personal space and privacy. Now, I know privacy is a luxury considering we live in very confined spaces, most of us. But within those spaces, boundaries for ourselves and for those who we're living with, certain boundaries where we can request for some personal space for ourselves, where each family member can get some time off to do whatever it is that they may like, to engage in anything that they may want to do without anybody else's interference. And this is very important because, like we said before, we feel helpless and restless, moving on, going on, reacting to situations helplessly. When we ask for this personal space, we will be in a better mind frame to then engage with those people. This is a good time to communicate with family that this need for personal space, this need for some boundaries, wherein you can say that this is the time I may require for myself. Right now, I do not have the mind space to engage. So that when you come back, you can engage in a more healthy way, in a more meaningful way. And that way, your relationships don't suffer because of conflicts that are very natural to occur at this time, because all of us are in this confined space. Next, we move on to the final theme, which is the loss of a sense of purpose. Now, all of us identify with the work that we do. What we do gives us a sense of purpose, gives us a sense of identity. And one of our main needs is to feel purposeful, to feel useful, to feel productive. For example, I'm a psychologist, someone is a teacher, someone is a banker. Everybody identifies with that work that they do. And as of now, our sense of productivity has come to a standstill. We're not able to feel useful, productive, or successful in the capacities that we want to or we could before. And loss of that sense of purpose makes us feel the need to avoid or escape reality by getting involved in behaviors like sleeping excessively, watching our phones or TV excessively, substance use, drugs, alcohol. It's important that we notice these patterns in ourselves and understand that they can be addictive. And they're addictive because our brain is allowed to escape this reality. It gives that brain a perception of feeling safe. As far as much binge watch movies after movies, I'm safe because I don't have to engage in this harsh reality.